Hello there, my beautiful souls, and welcome back to Cosmic Wisdom. Gather close, all of you magnificent, sun-kissed Leos, for we stand on the precipice of a revelation that has been whispered through the ages, a secret once penned by the great seer Nostradamus himself. There is a profound mystery woven into the very fabric of your royal soul, a truth humanity was perhaps never brave enough to fully embrace. Have you ever wondered why your loyalty is so absolute, so unwavering, even to those who may not deserve it? Why you can feel the pain of a friend's betrayal as if it were a physical wound to your own heart? Why you are always the one to light up the room, to give the most thoughtful gifts, to offer the most heartfelt encouragement, only to sometimes find yourself feeling empty and unseen when the applause fades. That, my beautiful Leo, is not a flaw. It is the signature of a soul who has learned to radiate love even in the coldest of nights, a soul who understands the nature of darkness and still, defiantly, chooses to shine. Nostradamus once warned of a time when these sun-blessed souls would have to confront the subtle deceptions that drain the world of its light. Leo, that time is now. You may already be sensing it, a growing intolerance for anything inauthentic, a powerful gut feeling about people's true intentions, a deep yearning for a life that is not just successful, but deeply meaningful. These are not random feelings. This is your royal intuition, your spiritual inheritance, awakening within you. And it is time you understand that this awakening comes with a profound responsibility, the responsibility to protect your own light. I have witnessed so many beautiful Leos in this lifetime live as magnificent, roaring fires that warm everyone around them. They are the center of their circle, the dependable source of strength and laughter. Yet, they often forget to save any fuel for themselves. And because of that magnificent, giving heart, you attract both angels who wish to fly with you and energetic parasites who wish to feast on your flames. But there is one fundamental truth you must anchor into your soul. Your inner light, your divine fire, can never be extinguished by another. It can only be temporarily dimmed by your own permission. Even if you have been manipulated, betrayed, or made to feel that your brilliance was too much for others, that sacred fire still burns within you. This is what Nostradamus called the solar flame, an eternal energy that resides only in souls who have returned time and again, not to learn lessons of suffering, but to master the lesson of sovereign, heart-centered love. Have you ever felt a profound loneliness, even when surrounded by people who claim to adore you? A sense that no one truly sees the depth of the soul behind the dazzling smile. That is not a sign of weakness. It is the evidence of a soul that gives so much and so often forgets to ask if its own cup is full. You are the keeper of an ancient promise, a leader, a source of courage for others. So I want to ask you something, and please answer with the fierce honesty of your lion heart in the comments below. Have you ever had a brilliant idea only to share it with someone who shot it down and then later saw them use it as their own? Have you ever felt utterly drained and exhausted after spending time with someone, even if the conversation was pleasant on the surface? Have you ever felt you knew with absolute certainty that someone was not being genuine even when their words were sweet? If your soul is roaring yes, then you are not alone. And you are certainly not imagining things. You are simply a Leo whose spiritual senses are coming online. If, by now, you feel a stirring in your heart, a flicker of recognition in your soul, then prepare yourself, because in the next part of this sacred journey, we will uncover the real reason why the magnificent Leo is so often a target for these subtle, dark forces. It is not because you are weak, my friend. It is because you hold the key to unlocking a level of joy, creativity, and love that can literally transform reality. Your spirit, dear Leo, possesses a sacred connection, not to darkness itself, but to a brilliant, world-altering light that darkness desperately seeks to claim. And if you do not awaken to your true power in this pivotal era, destiny may unfold in a way that dims the very light this world so desperately needs. And if you do not learn to guard the gates of your own kingdom, the darkness will always seek an invitation. Leo, perhaps you have often found yourself wondering, why am I always the one who loves the most in a relationship? Or why do I feel so depleted after giving my all to a project or a friendship? The answer lies not in some failing on your part, but in the irresistible magnetism of your light. It is a light that others cannot help but be drawn to, and this very radiance is what can make you vulnerable to being energetically drained. In his lesser-known writings, Nostradamus describes souls of immense light as beacons for wandering spirits lost in shadow. He called them those who hunt for warmth, and no soul radiates more warmth, more vital life force than a Leo. Your generosity often has no bounds. You are willing to give your time, your energy, your love, and your loyalty, believing that your sunshine is enough to make anything grow. But this beautiful quality, if not protected by regal wisdom, becomes the very reason others can deplete you. I have seen countless Leos spend their lives pouring their energy into others, partners, friends, family, only to realize that no one has ever stopped to ask, but who is pouring into you? Are you okay? You carry the instinct to lead and to nurture the pride, but you often do it without being asked, and you are left an empty vessel, with nothing left to give but a silent, wounded roar. Spiritual wisdom teaches us that love must be accompanied by discernment. Without it, your brilliant compassion can become a tool for your own exhaustion. Society celebrates you for your strength and your dazzling charisma, but it never teaches you how to build a fortress around your own heart. It never teaches you how to say no. Are you currently helping someone only to feel more and more tired and resentful each day? If so, you may be experiencing a form of energetic manipulation, one so subtle and cunning that it feels almost like your own choice. The other person may not even be consciously malicious, but if you are not awake to the dynamic, you unconsciously open the gates of your kingdom and allow their chaos to enter. I know there are Leos who have forgiven, and forgiven, and forgiven again, believing that if they just shine their light bright enough, if they are patient enough, if they love hard enough, the other person will finally see their worth and change. But the heartbreaking truth is that some souls do not want to be healed. They simply want a sun to orbit around, a source of light to feed their own shadows. And Leo, if you are not vigilant, you become the sun that is slowly being consumed. Have you ever been in a relationship or friendship where, after every single interaction, you feel a deep sense of fatigue, where your mood plummets and your bright optimism feels clouded over? Do not dismiss that feeling. You might be dealing with what I call a shadow parasite, a soul that is so fractured it unconsciously leeches your vibrant life force to feel whole. Nostradamus called them souls who refuse their own lessons, and instead of learning, they seek a royal soul to carry the burden for them. Have you ever had recurring dreams where you feel like you're performing on a stage, but the audience is faceless and draining you? Have you ever felt a sudden chill or a wave of anxiety for no apparent reason? These are not random occurrences. They are signals from your soul, warning you that it is time to learn how to protect your kingdom. I want you to try something with me now. Find a moment of quiet. Close your eyes and envision your heart as a radiant golden sun. Now, think of someone in your life who always seems to make you feel a little less bright. Someone whose praise feels conditional. Someone who makes you feel guilty if you choose to put your own needs first. Someone who, after you connect with them, always leaves you feeling tired, insecure, or questioning your own worth. If a name or a face immediately came to mind, it is highly probable that this person is, consciously or unconsciously, draining your precious life force. In this journey together, we will unveil why the noble Leo soul was born to be a beacon in a world of shadows, why your magnificent heart has so often been a target for manipulation by those who crave your warmth, and most importantly, how you can reclaim your divine sovereignty and transform any lingering karma into a radiant, healing light for yourself and for all of humanity. And if you allow this to continue, you are complicit in allowing a shadow to dim the brilliant light of your own soul. Leo, you were not born to be a supporting character in someone else's drama. You were born to be the magnificent, radiant star of your own life. Awakening does not mean tolerating disrespect. Awakening means recognizing what is divine love and what is manipulation, disguised as admiration. You deserve a life where you can give from your overflow, not from your essence. To be loved for who you are, not for what you provide. To shine your light without needing anyone's permission. And to have that, you must learn to protect your energy like a celestial monarch, guarding their sacred treasure. Learn to meditate, to visualize a shield of golden light around you. Spend time alone in nature to reconnect with what truly comes from your own heart, versus what is an expectation imposed upon you by others. And remember this, my beautiful friend, if a relationship makes you feel smaller, it is not love. It is a lesson in boundaries. I want to invite you to share in the comments. Have you ever given your all to someone, only to be left with nothing but exhaustion and a broken heart? You are not alone. This community, the souls drawn to this message, we are your pride. We are your fellow lions and lionesses. But today, you will no longer repeat that pattern, because the mystery deepens here. Nostradamus predicted that the Leo soul could be easily lured into grand, yet draining, karmic dramas, simply out of a noble desire to lead others out of their own suffering. But if you march into the darkness without your own light as a shield, you will not save anyone, and you may end up entangled in their karma. And this is how negative karma spreads through the grand, yet unaware, gestures of a compassionate heart that lacks the wisdom of self-preservation. So if you have ever felt, I did everything right, I gave everything I had, so why is my kingdom crumbling? Then it is time to turn inward. Ask your soul again, am I leading from a place of true, sovereign love, or from a fear of not being adored? Because only the love that flows from an awakened, sovereign heart will open the door to true liberation. And at this very moment, the greatest mystery begins to unfold. You will understand how these toxic dynamics can find their way to a Leo through relationships that seem adoring but are actually deeply manipulative. And you will finally learn how to recognize them, so you are never again lured by the false promises of the shadows. Have you ever asked yourself, I have lived with such a generous heart, with such loyalty and passion, so why do I still feel betrayed, overlooked, or wounded? Perhaps, dear Leo, you are living with one of the greatest misconceptions on the spiritual path, that simply being a good person with a big heart is enough to protect you from creating karma. The truth, as the ancient teachings tell us, is far more nuanced. Karma arises not just from malicious actions, but also from grand gestures. If they spring from a place of pride, fear, or a desire to control the outcome. For a soul like yours, Leo, who so often acts from a place of magnificent love, but sometimes lacks the introspection to see the underlying motive, the karmic consequences can be incredibly subtle. I believe that in many of your past lives, you have used your incredible power of manifestation, your inner magic, not to harm, but to direct, through sheer force of will, through powerful intentions, through actions meant to intervene in the destiny of those you love, because you simply couldn't bear to see them fail. You believed you knew the best path for them. But do you see the sacred law at play here? When you try to change another's destiny without it being their own sovereign choice, you are creating a profound karmic tie. Every action plants a seed, and that seed will sprout, regardless of your noble intentions. Even if you act out of love, if your heart holds a subtle fear of losing them, an attachment to a specific outcome, or a prideful desire to be the one who fixes things, that seed is still one of karma. And you, magnificent Leo, are a soul carrying many such seeds. Not because you are malicious, but because you love with the force of the sun. But loving with that much power, without profound self-awareness, is a double-edged sword. If you are a Leo who has ever felt that your brilliant light is misunderstood, that your generosity is taken for granted, or that the world around you is trying to place you in a cage too small for your spirit, then do not turn away. This message has found you for a reason. What is about to be revealed may forever change the way you perceive your power, your purpose, and your past. In that state, you are prone to using your divine spiritual power to unconsciously influence reality. That is when your magic is no longer pure light. It becomes a form of shadow, disguised in the brilliant robes of kindness. I know this can be difficult to hear, but your courageous soul needs to know this truth. True light is not afraid to look at its own shadows. It only fears being deceived by them. And for you, Leo, it is time to look back at your own magnificent history, not with blame, but to begin a journey of true, sovereign transformation. Think about a time you did everything in your power to make a relationship work. Not because it was truly healthy, but because you couldn't stand the thought of your kingdom failing. Think about a time you used your charisma to convince someone to follow a path, not for them, but because their success would reflect well on you. These actions, if not done with pure surrender and awareness, are the subtlest forms of spiritual manipulation. And that is precisely where the dark magic finds its entry point, in the most well-intentioned and seemingly loving gestures. Have you ever felt like you are carrying a karma you can't name? A deep fatigue in your soul that no amount of sleep can cure? A repeating cycle of betrayal or disappointment that you just can't seem to break? Perhaps it is the result of past actions, where you tried to save others from the very lessons their souls came here to learn. The Leo soul has a powerful ability to inspire, but inspiring is not the same as controlling. It is not bearing the burden for another, and it is certainly not rewriting someone else's destiny in the way you believe is best. True compassion must be paired with wisdom. If not, your kindness will be exploited, and your own brilliant light will be diminished. So, how then can you heal this karma when you never intended to do anything wrong? The answer lies in mindful action. Do good, but release your attachment to the outcome. Love, but do not possess. Help, but do not rescue. Inspire, but do not dictate. In this way, you are planting seeds of liberation, not entanglement. I once knew a magnificent Leo who spent nearly his entire life building an empire for his family. He gave them everything, guided every decision, and protected them fiercely. But he forgot to ever ask them what they truly wanted. And one day, when his children walked away to follow their own, seemingly smaller dreams, he was shattered. But in that moment of profound heartbreak, his journey back to himself truly began. He no longer used his power to build a kingdom for others, but to build a sanctuary within himself. Do you believe in karma? And do you believe it can be healed? Share your heartfelt answer in the comments, because your story, your perspective, might be the guiding star for another Leo lost in the dark. If your answer is yes, then you will need a sacred ritual, a ritual that Nostradamus hinted at, not with complex instructions, but with the symbols of the sun and the heart. It is a ritual of sovereign reclamation through the radiant light of self-love. No elaborate tools are needed, only a candle, a sincere intention, and a heart ready to forgive itself. You need no outside guru for this ritual, because you, dear Leo, are the one who holds the key to your own kingdom. Find a quiet, sacred space. Light a golden or a yellow candle representing your inner sun. Close your eyes, place your hand over your heart, and say to your own soul, I forgive myself for all the times I gave away my power. I forgive myself for the times I loved with attachment and not with wisdom. I release myself from all vows, all karmic ties, and all prideful actions of the past. From this moment forward, I reclaim my throne. I choose the light of my own sovereign heart, and then let any emotions rise. Let the old stories be released. Let the karma no longer be a chain, but a lesson in wisdom. And you will feel the universe, which has always been waiting, rush in to help you begin anew, right from the very place where your heart once felt broken. You do not need to become someone else, Leo. You just need to become a more awakened version of yourself. Not to be adored, but to adore yourself. Not to be loved, but to love yourself. And before we venture deeper into this sacred mystery, I want you to join our beautiful community of awakened souls. Take a moment right now to subscribe to Cosmic Wisdom, so you never miss these essential cosmic updates. And in the comments below, declare your presence and your power by typing your name so we can learn more. Let the universe hear your roar. Now, let's speak of the truth that lives within your very bones, because only when you are truly whole within yourself can you lead this world with pure, incorruptible light. Stay with me, my beautiful friend, because right after this, you will be guided into an even deeper spiritual space where we will explore how this forgiveness is the most courageous act a powerful soul like yours can undertake. And if you are ready, then the light never refuses a king or a queen who dares to look straight into their own shadow. Some things, my dear friends, cannot be measured or catalogued by the mundane world. They can only be felt in the soul's deepest chambers. And perhaps you have felt this your entire life, haven't you, Leo? A profound and unshakable feeling that you were destined for something grand, a sense that you carry not just your own dreams, but the echoes of a majestic lineage. This is not mere ego or imagination, it is the vibrant energy of a royal soul, and the ancient seers like Nostradamus saw your coming. It is no mere coincidence that his most enigmatic prophecies spoke of a lineage of souls born with the heart of the sun itself. Souls who carry a light so brilliant, so magnetic, that they are destined to lead, to inspire, and to love with a ferocity that can change the world. These are the souls who don't just walk through life. They perform on its grand stage, unconsciously drawing both adoration and envy, both light and shadow, from every corner of the cosmos. Leo, you are the heir to this sacred lineage. I believe with all my heart that no other sign in the zodiac is blessed with such a boundless capacity for joy, such a courageous and generous heart as you. But with this magnificent gift comes an equally profound trial. Because the light you carry is so pure, so golden, the forces of shadow are instinctively drawn to it, not to destroy it, but to possess it, to feed on it, to bask in your warmth while offering nothing in return. This celestial dynamic makes you a living bridge between the divine potential of the human spirit and the mundane world. You are a symbol of what humanity can become when it chooses to live from the heart.